Hey gang, welcome to Tetris. Now you're probably thinking, Lily, didn't you make a Tetris video before? And the answer is yes, but that was Tetris 99. And I don't think anybody would argue that Tetris 99 and NES Tetris are the same game. I don't think anyone would argue that. And I am certainly going to argue the contrary, because I think they're distinctly different games. And actually, as somebody who's played a lot of modern Tetris, I played a lot of Puyo Puyo Tetris, a lot of Tetris Friends. I used to be big into Tetris. I'm not so much now, and you'll see that in my stacking skills. Although, to be fair, modern Tetris has the 7-bag randomizer, so it's not really comparable. It's not really a comparison between the two, if you ask me. One of them is clearly a lot easier, and it's 7-bag Tetris. Although, I think, when you make when you make the game sort of easier in that way, in the way that it's not randomized, you also make the standards higher. And what I mean by that is you can kind of go on forever with modern Tetris in a way that's only really possible in NES Tetris with rolling, and even then rolling has a limit. But that's more a limit of the game. I mean, human stamina has a limit, and I don't think you can play, I don't follow NES Tetris, but I don't think you can play, the highest speeds infinitely long anyway. But I do know for sure that the game itself has a limit on how far you can go before the game effectively crashes, right? So I know about that. But yeah, I'm not so sure where I was going with that. But yeah, NES Tetris, it's a whole different thing, and I barely played it. I played a little bit of NES Tetris, but I always thought it was less fun just because it's not as... I was gonna say it's not as fast. It isn't as fast. It isn't as fast. I'm gonna commit to that answer. It's not as fast. I know people look at rolling and stuff and they're like, holy shit, this game is like light speed. And in that sense, you're kind of right. Rolling is extremely fast, and the speeds that the game gets to when you survive that long is extremely fast. But the actual gameplay itself is less input dense, because in this game the inputs are all just moving left and right are the main fast inputs, but everything's fast in modern Tetris because you can hard drop, and in this game you can drop quickly, but you can't hard drop. And stuff with the rotation system makes T-spin doubles, so it's not just placing things. And I know that you can do T-spin doubles in this game, but it's encouraged in modern Tetris. So you're encouraged to not just place things on top of the stack, but to do those setups and rotations and stuff. I do think it's a more it's a different style of game. I don't know. I would say that, I don't know, there's really no comparison. I mean, obviously you can compare the two games, but there's no other thing that I would say is really that similar to these two games. A lot of the time I'm tempted to put things in terms of other games. I'll say oh, Mario 64 is the Melee of Mario games. And if you play both of those games, then you know what I mean. But if you don't play both of those games, you might still know what I mean. But if you don't know what I mean, it's a stupid comparison anyway, because they're completely different fucking games. But it just kind of feels right. I feel with the specific comparison of Tetris, modern Tetris to NES Tetris, there is actually no comparison that really feels like it fits the bill. I did like how in Tetris, Tetris Effect, the PS4 game, you could, there was a way to basically set up NES Tetris in that game, because they had an NES Tetris, well, I think it was Game Boy Tetris. They had a Game Boy Tetris skin, and you could change all the rules, basically. So you could make it so there were no wall kicks, and you could make it so there was no hard drop, and you could make it so... Why have I set up a... See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, my mind is so modern Tetris brain rotted that I've set up a T-spin for myself here. And I did it, but I did it wrong. Like, I did not think for a second. I was just like, hey, it's Tetris, let's set up a T-spin. And I just did it again! I just did it again! Shit you not, that was not on purpose. Wow. And now I just need to eat this, I think. There's no way I can make that work. Although I do see another one, but I'm gonna kick. It's popping up everywhere. The setup is popping up everywhere. I mean, there is a beauty in the T-spin double, right? It's like the best. I love it. It's such an awesome mechanic. I mean, it just... I can't keep stacking in that direction. Okay, we gotta stack down a little bit. No, we can do that. We can get away with some... But yeah, like, I don't know. NES Tetris, it's fun enough. I still think, like, I need to be very deliberate with when I'm playing it, because what am I trying to say? I need to be very deliberate with the way I'm playing it, because like, it doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel like comfy to me yet, and that's just because I've barely played it. But you know, like modern Tetris, I can just hop into a game of that, and even if I'm a bit rusty, like I'll get back to jamming out pretty soon. With this, I still feel like I'm being very deliberate with every button press, just because the controls don't feel that natural to me. And it's not really an insult to the controls. I think, like, I need to take a drink. That's what I think. Anyway, what I was saying is, what was I saying? I think this game actually controls well. I'm just not used to it. I really like delayed auto shift as a mechanic. I think it's a really, like, cool thing where it kind of rewards, like, you have to kind of think about it to have, like, delayed auto shift, like, working. You have to kind of set it. Okay, I've fucked it. But you have to have it kind of, like, set up in a way where it works, and that doesn't necessarily just come naturally, like, it's a skill. And I don't want to insult, you know, hyper tapping or rolling, but I feel like it's just a shame that... Oh, I can put my name in. I feel like it's just a shame that they have made, rolling especially, kind of made, delayed auto shift kind of irrelevant, because I think it's a cool mechanic, but we have two characters to play with. Let's be Lily... Oh my god. Let's be Lily, Lily... Wait, do they have semicolon? No. Let's just be Lily, comma... Lily, comma, Howard. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, let's start at, like, level 9 and see how I do. Because I swear this is, like... This is supposed to be, like, super difficult. And I don't doubt that it is. I think the fact that it's randomized kind of puts me off of this game. Even though, like, I do like, you know, people talk about randomized, like, speedruns and stuff as if, like, RNG is the evil, and And truth be told, the evil is really when you have like a medium amount of RNG in your game. If you have like a little bit of RNG and it doesn't really affect the game that much, like obviously people don't really complain about that. And if the whole game's fucking RNG, like Minecraft or Stranded Isle, the game that I play, you know, then it just becomes a matter of like optimizing for circumstances and trying to like do the best you can in a randomized like situation. And I think that's super cool. I think that's like a really fun kind of speedrun that I don't know, it's really rewarding. So you know, I see the appeal of having a more randomized Tetris. It's just not for me. I like being able to basically prepare for anything. Like, if you don't play modern Tetris, you need to realize that, like, it's not like this game where you have messy stacks. Like, basically, in modern Tetris, you always don't have a messy stack because it's not that hard to like clean up every single missed line or every single like that is hard. Every single like mistake, if you make them, is not hard to clean up very quickly. Like burning lines is really easy in modern Tetris, and and yeah, it's just like not as much of a worry in that game to be to be I messed it up already. I'm so bad. Yeah, it's just not as much of a worry in modern Tetris, the actual like sensibility of the stack. And a lot of the reason for that is because you know that every 7 pieces you're gonna see every 7 pieces. You don't know the order, but you're gonna see all 7 of the pieces. So you can be a lot more confident with that. And a lot of modern Tetris games will show you your next 5 pieces. A lot of them will show you like 3, but some of them genuinely will show you all of your next 5 pieces, including the one you're holding, so actually 6. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, obviously, if you can learn to use the up next, which to be fair, I'm not that good at. I look like 2 pieces ahead when I play modern Tetris. I'm not that good at it. But if you can learn to use that up next, then it's kind of hard to make any decision, or yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to make any decision that's not gonna work out, because you just can tell basically what your board is gonna look like 5 steps from then. And in PvP Tetris, it's also interesting because they can kind of force your board to become fucked up, because when they send lines with 1 block removed, and so you know, you still have that mechanic of like burning lines to, it's not really called a burn in modern Tetris because there's no incentive to you know, burn as little lines as possible. You can just mash, to be honest. What was I saying though? Yeah, you still get that aspect that's in this game where you like burn lines and have to sort of like clear downwards. It's just it's PvP inflicted, because you know, if I were to play like an endless Tetris marathon, like I wouldn't have situations this dire because I would just like, you know, stack nicely and not worry too much about it. Although equally, like, the whole competition in this game, like NES Tetris, surrounds score, and I don't know anyone who, like, I can't think of anyone who plays for score in modern Tetris. It's always PvP, or it's just, like, casual, like, I'm gonna play through a bunch of, like, marathon. I don't know. I feel like score is kind of a thing of the past with this game.